All right, well, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
And this is, of course, Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family relationships, and recaps, reviews, commentary on some of our favorite TV shows. This one is all about Ready to Love, season 6, 5-ish.
You so worried about the season. Leave this. Move on.
Ready to Love Potomac. All right. So if this is content that you enjoy, of course, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like, request notifications.
And share.
And as always, we will see you, hang out with you in the comments. Shout out to one of the KT squad who, yes, the boy's name is Wiley, not Wyatt. I'm sorry.
Wiley,
like Wiley Coyote.
That's a good way to
That's the only way I'm going to remember it. All right. And listen, squad, y'all have our back, because there was another video that someone made a comment on, and y'all was like, no, I like that. Keep doing what y'all do. Y'all good. Listen, we appreciate y'all.
KT squad.
All right. So this week, the fellas are in control. Tommy meets with them. And he's like, look, I got 2 more that I'm bringing into the party.
Okay. Coming in strong.
Coming in. And so Wiley, as in Wile E. Coyote, Wiley's age keeps coming up, right?
Right.
From the very first night with the mixer, what was her name? I forget the girl, Keena, I think it was, had the issue with his age, even though there wasn't that much difference.
No, she ain't here no more, though.
Yeah, someone else had an issue with his age. So Tommy's like, look, man, I'm going to hook you up.
Right. I don't know why women are front on age. When you get a young man, come on now, work the young man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. But he's like, look, I'm gonna get you someone closer to your age. So he gets Wiley connected with Christina, or Tina, as we met. She's a mother. She's an entrepreneur.
Yes. Esthetician.
Esthetician, yes. She's 31 years old, and she has a child.
Yeah, she has a 2-year-old.
And her thing was, she hasn't dated since her last relationship was a toxic relationship.
Correct.
Because she found out that he was cheating while she was 6 months pregnant.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
So, but they have good connection. They're vibing. They're going well. Things that seems like a good fit.
Right. You know, even though Wiley,
as in Wile E. Coyote,
to me, it's like he doesn't have an age preference.
Right.
It's just like, whoever's in my presence, I'm going to be present.
Yes.
And I want to show my best foot that I'm a catch.
Yes.
So I feel like he's mature enough.
Yeah.
But maybe this might be a good match where now the woman is not looking at him as an age difference.
The age question is off the table. It's not relevant.
Right.
Although we found out a little later, she does typically seem to date older guys.
Hey, there could be yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. But they do have, they exchange phone numbers. They're like, look, let's do another date.
Right.
They talk about how they're vibing as far as even matching clothes. So it's a good fit from what we've seen so far. For a blind date, good fit.
For a blind date, yes.
Yep. And then Precious is sent on her blind date with Donovan, and he's 42. He's a realtor. He was previously married for 12 years.
Right. That's a long time.
And he says that he made mistakes. I think that's that kind of just the, I screwed up way of saying I cheated, right? And I don't know, don't know if he cheated, right?
No, we don't know if he's cheated. I wasn't.
We hear that we made mistakes, right? So whatever the mistakes may be, it just could be putting work before your relationship, right? Whatever it was, yes. He made mistakes. Right.
It's unfortunate that people can't recover, right? Everyone makes mistakes.
Yep.
But trying to find a recovery that you can have your marriage extended instead of having to really start over.
Yeah.
So.
But Precious likes what she sees.
I don't think Precious doesn't like anything she doesn't see. I haven't heard her have a complaint about anyone.
True.
And maybe that's the thing that might be coming up for Precious.
Yes.
Is that she hasn't narrowed down to 1 or 2 people.
It's almost like,
even though she says she likes Paul.
Yes. But it's almost like, you got a pulse? You breathing?
Probably more than just a pulse, but
you got something right. Okay, we good.
That's good.
Because she hits her leg on the table. She's like, oh, did I hit your leg? You like, no, my legs ain't that long. Well, mine are. Okay, that's good. So, I mean, if thirsty was a person,
Thirsty was a person.
Precious was parched.
Hey, it's been 6 months for her.
It has been.
She indicated that she's been celibate for 6 months.
Yep.
And I think if she's not ready to love, she's ready for something else. So, so we'll see how long she lasts.
Who's going to be her glass of water?
Right. Right. Maybe Paul.
Maybe Paul.
Right.
Probably not Donovan, though.
Right.
Because Donovan, you could tell for Donovan, it was becoming a little like, okay.
It's a little bit much from him.
Right. Because normally when there's a flirtation happening, if they're feeling you, there's a back and forth. There's a trying to match energy, right? He wasn't doing that. He was like, okay, yeah, that sounds good.
I think it's about filling people out, right? Like,
true. And it's also like the first date. So,
well, aren't you supposed to flirt? I mean, in general.
Yes.
So,
but it just seemed like she just kept throwing it out, and he was like,
not reeling in it, because that's what she said. She's like, I don't think he's catching what I'm throwing out.
Yeah, he was like, nah, you can have that.
He's throwing it back.
Throwing it back.
Don't want it.
All right, so then Laverne and Joy go on a date.
Right.
And they recreate the scene from Ghost. It's almost
everybody's trying to recreate the scene from Ghost.
So they went to do pottery.
Right. And I think they were having a good vibe.
Yes.
They were talking, they were flirting, so there's a connection there between the two of them.
Yep.
I still want to see more from Joy than the flirting.
Yeah.
And maybe we're just not catching it on camera. But is she having a deep enough connection that they're saying, okay, I can see her long term?
Right.
Because, we're having fun. We're enjoying the moment. But what does that look like?
Yeah. Because in my opinion, she gives kind of because he asked her, what is she looking for in this process? And she's like, a lot, I want to be happy. I think everybody wants to be happy.
Right.
I think that's a safe bet. Right. And he does at least try and press her a little on that. Right. But yeah, I think that for Joy, I would like to see a little more depth.
Right, because she is a professional singer.
Right.
She does go out of town.
Right.
To do her craft. So it's like, are you just looking for someone to be there when you get back?
Right.
And
somebody you can FaceTime with and not have any expectations of anything.
Right.
Right.
Feeling like you feel like you're in a relationship, even though you're gone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if she's saying that she can't live without her career and not being able to stay steady, like when they had her and Paul had the conversation, then she might need to think about what she's
looking for and if this is the right venue for that.
Yeah, because I'm finding, as we're listening to the contestants on Ready to Love, most of the men are more like, I'm ready to settle down.
This season,
I'm ready to find that committed person.
Right.
Because they all seem to be late 30s, early 40s,
right,
where they're really ready to say, I want that one person that we're connecting more intimacy than just
the guys are asking a lot of good questions. I think we're seeing them really dig a little deeper than I think what we've seen in previous seasons.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
Just our thoughts. And then something interesting, he said that he does not have a traditional sense of relationship. So he dated a lot, but hasn't really had relationships.
You're talking about
Laverne. Yeah. So I mean that also.
Is that a red flag?
I don't know if it's a red flag. It is a cause for concern. It's not a red flag that it's like that's a deal breaker, what have you. But it is something that does need to be investigated a little more, I think. Just my thought.
Well, because is he just saying I'm just casually dating and I haven't found anything on a deeper level?
Right.
Or, that's kind of what I'm looking at.
Or is it just we have needs, we get needs met, and then we move on, right? So it's just a matter of what is causing there to not be relationships, right?
Gotcha.
Are you just completely avoiding them? Have you, like you said, not found the right person? What's there? So that's why it's not a red flag. It is something that needs to be investigated more, I think, for the ladies.
I hear you.
Demetrius and AP hang out.
Yeah, he actually wanted to take her out on a date.
Yeah.
Because he really didn't have a chance to get to know her.
And he said that their interactions have not been good in other formats or venues, right? So I guess maybe the phone conversation. Right.
It has to be a phone call.
But he said that the interactions haven't been good. So don't know what that means.
Right. Well, when they have the dinner and they're talking and they're trying to really get to know each other more. Right. And he kind of gave the impression that she feels very frigid.
Yes.
And this is my term, frigid.
Yes.
Could she be nurturing? He's like, I want someone that's going to be nurturing. So he's like, do you give physical touch or anything? Right. But I think for her, it's the fear. She was married. She lost her husband.
Right.
And if she fears of loving again, may she lose that other person. Well, you don't know when someone's going to pass away.
Right. But the way it comes up, she kind of makes a statement. She, with the guy that she's looking for, she will support him being Superman. She's good with him being Superman, but on the flip side, she's like, I'm not Lois Lane. Mm-hmm. So what I heard from that was that she's got her own strength. She's got her own confidence. She's got her own thing. She's not the perpetual damsel in distress. Mm-hmm. But when Demetrius is talking to her and they're having the conversation, the sense that he got, and I think the sense that we're all getting watching, is that there is this wall that is up. And I think it still does have to do, like you said, kind of with the loss of her spouse, who we find out was 14 years older than her.
Right. That's another thing.
So it's to lose someone that you've been with for a while, right, is tough.
Right. And
then to now say that you've done the work, but we don't know if the work
not showing.
Doesn't sound like the work's being done.
It's not, well, just say it this way, it's not showing through.
Correct. Right.
Right. I just feel until you get out there, you can't really determine your temperature of where you are. So if this is a good test for her to say, okay, I put in some work, I want to see how it's reflecting in my life. And then she realized, well, it's not as reflecting as well as I thought. Right. Maybe I haven't put in enough work because of maybe how she lost him. Was he sick for a long period of time and had to take care of him? So that could be make it even deeper.
Well, my thought would be, and this is just me thinking, right, is that it might be easier to move on to a new relationship if the loss was expected.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If I've been caring for this person, I knew that they were terminal, what have you.
Right, then the grief starts earlier.
Grief starts earlier,
That's
so
true.
I can now move through those stages
true.
of grief.
That's true.
And now be ready to maybe date again or what have you a little sooner. But if it's sudden,
then it takes you off guard.
Yeah.
And everything has to change so fast. Yeah.
Right.
So it could have been the opposite. Something just automatically just happened. Wasn't expecting that happen.
And everybody deals with grief differently. So.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. But I just feel from what we can see from the outside, I just don't feel like the work is completed. Let's say that.
Right.
She may have started her journey on working on it. And she thinks,
it needs to be fine-tuned.
Right, because, I am lonely now, right?
Right.
And now I feel like I do want a person in my life. Right. But she may not realize how she wants that person to show up for her.
Exactly.
So.
So Demetrius says that they've got a connection, but it's not romantic. He's just like...
Yeah. He's like, nothing.
We could probably have conversations and talk, but there's nothing going there.
Right.
So then they go to a beach house off the Potomac, I'm assuming. And the fellas all show up and they're like, we're just hanging out. Bruh. I don't know if the producers told y'all to say that, but it would have been quite obvious.
Right.
That the ladies are coming at some point.
Right.
So they're hanging out. Eric is like, look, this is my lab. I'm in the kitchen.
Right.
I'm going to hook stuff up.
I was like, are you doing this for free? Like a part of your Ready to Love experiment? Or are they paying you on the side?
Because listen,
So
get you a little extra comp out of that.
right.
So Tommy shows up on a yacht. He comes over looking like Forrest Gump.
Shut up. Shut. You say looking like Forrest Gump.
Shout out to Tommy. We appreciate you, bro. And then Tommy comes over. Hey, fellas, this is what's happening.
Right.
And the ladies join in.
Right.
And all the guys were like, oh, God. Because of the ladies in, swimwear attire.
Right. Because it's a pool party.
It's a pool party.
So, yeah.
So Tommy does say, okay, blind dates are done. No more blind dates.
No more people are going to be added to this equation.
This is now what we have.
You better make the connections you want to make.
Yeah.
So
Donovan, who you remember was the blind date that met Precious a little earlier, he meets Dakia, and he's a little spark there.
Yeah. Dakia has been talked about a lot.
Yes.
As like a number one choice. Again, you can tell that she's just very confident, businesswoman, and she's ready to love, and she's showing those vibes she's ready to love. Yep. So, and they picking it up.
But, hey, they picking up what she laying down. And she ain't got to lay it down too hard. So Paul meets with Christina, who again just joined. And they have a good connection. She's like, it feels natural. It's magnetic. And now Paul makes a statement, and he says, look, the younger they are, typically they are more trouble. The more trouble they
dangerous. He called it dangerous.
He's like, but she also got a little older vibe.
Right.
So he's like, yeah, she's young, but she ready. Right?
Paul's like, I can handle whatever she's going to bring. I think I can handle it.
So they have a good connection there, right? And then just kind of because we get to the thing about the pool party episode is always good to see kind of where things are and maybe see brief interactions, but we get to see a few more things than we normally get to see when it's just all dates or what have you. Right. So Dakia and Eric are in the kitchen, and they had a connection last episode.
Correct. When they first met, dating, they were just vibing.
And Eric is cooking, and he's like, "Look, she makes some statement about if we were dating." He's like, "There's no if about it.
We're dating.
We're happening."
I was like, "Oh." Okay.
He's like, he's being intentional.
Right.
Go for it, Eric. Yeah. Listen, hey, make it known.
Right.
But then Carmen comes in, and is like, "Hey." And Carmen's just over there now.
I feel like
Carmen just is displaying the goods.
I was thinking to myself, like, Carmen, don't put too much of your chest in my pot. Because if I got to eat and your chest in my pot, it's going to be hard for me to eat. So back up.
I'm going to keep it respectful. She had the goods all out. Even Dakia was like,
she's manipulating. I don't think she was manipulating.
I imagine, now Dakia, you can let us know, but I imagine what was probably going through her mind was, this heifer.
He's messing up my mind.
Shout out to you, Carmen, and Dakia. But yeah, Carmen was just like...
Carmen was doing what Carmen does. She was in there to interrupt.
Yep.
Because
she was being intentional.
She was being intentional. And because Eric, right, has cooked for her in the past. Right. That was one of his clients.
Right.
And he was like, we vibe, but it's never been romantic. It's always been business.
Right.
But he's like, now the door is open where business and pleasure might mix well.
So, but then at the end of that conversation, he's like, yeah, it's you. So
he's flirting.
He's flirting, yes. Right. But I hope that does, again, begin to identify your number one, number two.
Right.
But don't make
statements.
Don't make definitive statements.
Right.
That may come back to bite you, because listen,
they'll start talking.
Everybody talking.
They start talking.
So
liquor or no liquor, start talking, and you want to make sure all your intentions are clear.
Yep.
And everybody understand what's going on.
Yep. It is a process.
It's a process.
And it's still early in the process.
And I understand he keeps clients. So you show, you do a little winky wink and you work and you work. Because you do want to keep them as clients too, right? Yeah, keep your client happy. So I found that interesting. I was like, boy, it's such a small world, right?
Yes.
So they have some familiarity there.
Right.
So that would be interesting going forward as we see that dynamic.
Right. And then Tori and Ace are talking, and he freestyles for her. They have a little vibe. She's feeling him.
Is she really feeling him? I didn't feel like she was feeling him. I think she was entertaining him, but not feeling him. That's kind of what I got.
I would not say you're completely wrong. I would say I think that there may be something.
Okay.
But I don't.
I don't know. Ace maybe just doesn't show her hand. Ha ha.
Yeah. Because
Ace may not be showing her hand.
Ace is not showing. No, she's not at all.
So.
So listen, I like Ace. I think Ace is a cool person.
Okay.
But I think Ace might. She just comes off as the
earthy.
That's a nice way of putting it. She comes off as the partaker of medicinal herbs and spices.
Okay, no one says that there's anything wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that. But it seems like that's constantly weird because she's always like very ethereal feeling and looking. That's just just my thought.
Like she had a hit before she arrived, is what you're trying to say?
Nah, she ain't had just a hit. She had a few hits, I think. She might have been backstage with Snoop at the halftime show.
Shut up.
All right. Anyway, don't know. I don't know what that, but that's just the vibe I get from her, right? That's just me. All right. So Paul and Precious, we first see Precious with Paul, and she's trying to get Paul out his shirt. But then there is this segment where Precious is just like
all
around everybody. She's trying to whip up on Clifton. It was just like, okay. She moving around with everybody.
Right. And I think this is where the men is kind of like, I need you to take it down a notch.
Right. Because she does talk with Demetrius in a little bit, right? And by this time, her voice is gone.
Right. I was like, what are you screaming about? Why are you the loudest person?
And she makes a statement that, she has big personality, and she makes a statement that she's afraid her big personality is intimidating the men.
And we were talking about this. I was like, okay, does that sound right to you?
I don't think that they're intimidated by her personality. I think it's a cover. Or at least that's the way it's coming off to the men.
When you say cover, you mean?
It hides who you really are, because you're this loud life of the party, but who are you? And again, these guys are moving a little differently than we've seen in some previous ones. These guys are trying to get a little, in my opinion, getting a little more beyond the surface. Okay. And so I think that when Demetrius is kind of pulling her aside and saying, hey, what's going on? Right. It's because, everybody's kind of having conversations, but it's kind of hard to have a conversation when you're at 32, and I would be good with you at a 10. Right. If we match in energy, but can you bring it down and let's find out who you really are? Right. So, Tori hangs out with Sabrina.
Right. And he has a gift for her.
Right. He got her some cupcakes. Right. Now, Tori, what happened to them other two cupcakes? Because it was a box for 4. And I know that they make boxes for 2 cupcakes. Right?
He should have put 2 in there and then 2 in another. If he wasn't going to let her choose out of the 4, he should have just put 2 in there.
So he gave her some cupcakes. It was a good.
It was a gesture, right?
Gesture, yes.
Because Sabrina was saying no one else has given her a gift. And she was excited. Yes. About her cupcakes. Yes. And so it's just the thought that counts, right? Right. He's listening to her. He thought this would be nice instead of him eating the other 2.
And at this point, she says that he has an edge on Demetrius because that was the other guy. Right. And y'all remember last week, Demetrius was sitting in the corner of the bus looking like he was on timeout.
Like he was put on the back of the bus. You went to the back of the bus.
So she says at this point that he has the edge on, that Tori has the edge on her. Right. Right? Right. Then Eric again is talking with AP, and he even makes a statement. He's not sure that she's over the loss of her husband.
The loss of her husband.
And, granted, we're just seeing snippets of the conversations, right. But evidently just kind of what we've been picking up from the small snippets that we're seeing, him and some of the other folks may be picking up on the fact that, this may not be the right thing for you right now,
Right.
especially in this wide of a spectrum of people,
Sure.
right? Then Sabrina gets grabbed by Demetrius.
Oh yeah, he pulls it to the
He
side.
pulls her to the side. And she says that it's not normal because normally he's the one that's like, hey,
Reserve.
come swing my way, right?
Right.
That she's basically like, he normally is the one kind of motioning for her to come over. So it was different for him to come take her to a spot, right, where they could have a conversation. And he states that he's interested. And she's like, she's swooning over it pretty much. She's like, okay, feeling it. And then the ladies are having a conversation. I think it was Precious, Carmen, and Sabrina, I think. And they're talking about Laverne being distant.
Right. Like he on his phone, like, y'all, we've been at this pool party for like 8 hours.
But if you remember at the
first mixer, he was kind of the same way.
He posted up on a spot. And the ladies were coming to him. So Precious was like, he has the God complex that he wants the women to come to him. So that's that.
We'll see how that happens for next week when the women are in control.
Right. Because it may not bode well if that's the impression that you're giving. Right. That you think that you're all of that.
Right.
And I'm not saying that that's what Laverne feels, but if that's the impression that the ladies are getting, that he thinks that he's all that, then they may be like, well, you're not any of that for me.
Or he's not ready to love, right?
Right.
So you've come to a point where it's like, okay, I think he might feel like, I know who I'm connected to.
Right.
And I've maybe have talked and been around that person. I'm giving her some space. We've already been on a date. I really don't need to talk or mingle.
Right.
But he's still, because we're not close enough to the end.
We ain't at that stage yet, bro.
And you can be voted.
You can get gone really quickly.
Really quick.
Things can turn on a dime on this show.
Exactly. So you have to stay engaged and make sure you're talking to the women so you can even stay there for who you really want.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And then Clifton and Joy, they meet up after she tried to kill him last time.
She did not try to kill him.
Or he tried to kill himself her hands.
Right. Because he's like, oh, that looked good. And she's like, you want some? And she said, yeah.
And it had coconut and But they have, from the very beginning, have had good chemistry.
Right.
They are flirting, right?
There's a sexual tension there, right? But are they going to really dig deep to determine, are they a good match?
Right.
Because anybody can, I hate to say anybody, but you can have a good vibe and be flirty, but doesn't mean you should be in a relationship with that person.
You can have a great attraction and chemistry with one another as far as flirting, vibe, what have you, but that does not always lend to a great relationship.
No.
Right. But it was interesting again, because last week I pointed out how, Tori was talking about beating kidneys up, and we talked about how the dance, and I think someone even in the comments said that it's kind of hard to come back to that kind of a comment about your kidneys being beat up.
Right.
So what is the lady supposed to say to that? Right. And so it was interesting, good to see as far as just this vibe where there is this banter back and forth between the two of them.
Right.
So then Tommy comes out and he's like, all right, fellas, get in the house.
Let's go.
We about to have a conversation.
Right.
And so then he asks, of course, who you feeling? And Wiley, as in Wiley Coyote, that's what I'm gonna remember until it sticks, right? But he's feeling Christina. He's like, look, we had a great blind date.
I want to continue that.
Tommy, you did me right. We want to continue that. Paul chimes in. Yeah.
Oh, I can feel the youngster myself.
I'm feeling her too. And Wiley looked like
he done lost his balloon. He done lost his balloon. I'm like, hold on, man. You got the ball women. Let me have my young. Shout.
The look on Wiley's face was like,
am I gonna have to take out an old fella or what? What's going on in the house? Oh my God, this is gonna be interesting.
Is Wiley gonna have to choke her? All right. And then Eric is like, he's feeling Dakia. Donovan also is feeling Dakia. Demetrius says he's feeling Sabrina. Tori says he's feeling Sabrina, and that probably won't change.
He letting Demetrius know, like, and that probably she gonna stay number one.
And Tom and Demetrius was like,
"Oh, so it's gonna be like that, huh?"
Okay,
So it's gonna be like that.
Keep that energy, young fella.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, because according to the trailer,
Right.
next week,
We'll see.
Yeah. Clifton is like, listen, Carmen's in there.
Right.
Even though she had the baby blue eyes that kind of caught him off guard.
He did mention. Maybe she changed her eye color.
Maybe he liked the eye color she got in this week.
Maybe.
But he's also, of course, feeling Joy.
Right.
Right. And then Laverne is saying Ace, because remember, that's his Michelle, Beyonce, Jill Scott, and Oprah.
And Oprah. Yeah, Oprah.
Gotta get them all in there, right?
Right.
And then he's also feeling Joy.
Right.
And he slides an uppercut across his Clifton's face by saying, Joy is me.
Right.
Clifton like,
what? Let's go outside.
Young fella.
Let's go outside. Let's take it outside.
You know.
You know.
That Joy is with me. That Joy is me.
Talk
about Joy is me.
Giving me
Joy is me.
Claiming him a side eye. And that's another thing. These men are a lot more possessive. Like they're the ones being a little bit like, okay, my dog coming out. About to have
testosterone is bumping up against each other.
Right. There's gonna be a lot of pissing contest going on, ain't it?
Okay. Not that because Laverne used to be a bodybuilder, right? So it's not like he
don't know how to puff up.
Right.
He don't know how to puff up.
It'd be a good little squab.
It would be. I don't know. I still feel like Clifton.
I put my money on Clifton though.
Yeah, he a little heavier with a little height on him.
Yeah.
He could probably get on, grapple him down.
Clifton looked like he might run through walls on a daily basis. All right. So then, as far as who they're not feeling, right? Donovan's like, I'm not feeling Precious. Mm-hmm. She was just a little too thirsty for her brother, and I don't have enough water for her. Mm-hmm. Paul says he's not feeling Sabrina, and
they had a conversation, a good conversation.
They had the conversation, and she was like, "I'm not feeling you."
Right.
So mutual, right? Mutual. Clifton's like, "I'm not feeling Precious, and I'm not feeling AP."
Right. Especially when you tell somebody to remind you of your brother.
Yeah.
Don't ever say that. You can think that all you want and say,
Keep it to yourself.
We're gonna be friends,
right?
But you don't tell somebody on a blind date
because the energy is gonna show one way or the other, right? But you don't have to, because here's the thing, I have people that come up to me and like, because I just started a new job, and I've already had someone come to me, DJ Khaled. And I'm like, okay, I already know you're a little off, because for me, don't come telling me who I look like,
right? And
I've had some crazy ones too.
Yeah,
I've had someone tell me I look like Forrest Whitaker. Nope, I don't.
Shut up.
All right.
What about his skin color?
I don't even look like anything about.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of things that I don't look like Forrest Whitaker.
That's what I'm saying.
So
it's not even close.
So, but yeah, and then who else? Oh, Laverne is not feeling Sabrina or Dakia. And then Eric is not feeling AP. So Tommy's like, look, I'm gonna switch it up on y'all right now, because I ain't telling them.
I'm gonna go in this kitchen, probably give me something to eat. What are you telling?
I'm gonna taste Eric's food. I'm gonna get me a little glass of bourbon, and you tell them who's going home. So he goes out there. He's like, all right, ladies, Demetrius got something to tell y'all, and he steps out the way. AP steps forward and Precious steps forward, and then we get a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Not really a cliffhanger, because I'd almost be willing to bet money that AP is gone. Precious is still, I think, around for a little bit.
So she can kind of hopefully work on whatever her big personality.
Right.
Because I think they're feeling her because she is an attractive woman, and she may have, because she does have a deep conversation within her. Right.
And I think, I know Paul and her were connecting for a little bit, right? Right. He didn't mention her, but again, that doesn't mean that he didn't, at least side, with her for elimination, right? Right. But we have that cliffhanger, and then we see the trailer for next week. So Truth and Dare brings out all the stuff.
Especially when they start telling them what they're doing, like, give me the truth. Because I'm not showing my cards. I'm not ready to tell you if I'm trying to still fill out who. I'm not trying to hurt feelings. So we're going to do a lot of truth.
Especially when you start to see how them dares start to go.
Right.
Right?
Right.
The first dare is, okay, run around 3 times around the table. Cool.
Now, it looked like they were getting right into it.
But then, yeah, it was like, kiss the person that you... So there's a Joy running over to Clifton.
And after you did that, I'm like, all right, truth.
Well, but if you look at the clip there, Joy runs around to Clifton, and Laverne is like, wait, what? And then Sabrina runs around to Demetrius, and Tori's like,
I'm done.
Wait, what?
Right.
So
that's why men should realize, and it's like, don't you put your teeth in too quick to one of these chicks.
Right.
Because they have options.
Well, not only that, but as a man, that might give me a reason to maybe step my game up even more.
Possibly, depending on what type of man you are.
Depending on who it is, right. So, but we'll see what happens next week. I think that's it for this one. Let us know what we missed or what you thought. And we'll definitely see you all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Peace.